Getting some breaking news crossing a few moments ago on the Epic antitrust lawsuit against Apple. Shares are now dipping about 1 2/3%, finding in favor of Epic on all counts except one. We are still reading through the opinion, which is rather short. It also involves opinions on a counterclaim. John, Julia, have you been able to look at this? You got any reactions?
Yeah, I do, Carl. And the one point where Apple did not win is a key one, and let me read part of it. It involves the court saying developers are now going to be able to direct customers to other payment systems outside of Apple's App Store in addition to in-app payments, and also that developers are going to be able to communicate with their customers without being restricted by Apple. And it reads in part, Apple Inc. and its officers, agents, servants, employees, and any person in active concert are, et cetera, are permanently restrained from, and I'm doing a little paraphrasing there, including in their apps and metadata buttons, from keeping developers from including in their apps and their metadata buttons, external links, calls to action that direct customers to purchasing mechanisms in addition to in-app purchasing. In other words, Apple can't keep developers from sending customers to other purchasing mechanisms and communicating with customers through points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers through account registration within the app. So, this would be a big change to the way the App Store operates. Yeah. Apple's still allowed, of course, to charge and to have its own communications mechanisms, but the court in this case saying, but you have to allow developers to also add other payment mechanisms and other arenas of communication. Julia?
Yeah, John, I think that's exactly the reason we see the stock down by about 2.5% right now. But I do want to note that the judge actually ruled in favor of Apple on all counts except for that one that Josh just outlined. And in fact, Epic is going to have to pay $12 million in damages to Apple. That's the revenue it collected in that period in which it was able to collect payments on Fortnite. So that's a key point there. But I think the reason the stock is down right now is because that one issue where the judge ruled against Apple is such a crucial one for the way Apple's going to operate moving forward. That's the issue. But I think just, we...
12 million. I mean, come on. That's in the cracks of the seat cushions.
No, 12 million is nothing. But yeah. But what I think is so important here is that, we've reached out to Apple. We've reached out to Epic for a comment on this. This is going to be a really crucial turning point for the way Apple operates its whole system. And, this all comes as, South Korea had just issued this ruling saying that Apple would be mandated to do this. There was this question of what would come next. And I think this is exactly what the crucial thing here is going to be for Apple's future, John, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is bigger than what we saw out of South Korea, what we saw out of Japan. All of those things were kind of piecemeal nibbles. But this gets right to the core of the issue, which is, Carl, how much agency do developers have within somebody else's store to direct customers to other payment mechanisms that might have better terms for the developer? How much leeway do developers have to communicate with customers and direct them to other means of navigating the service, other means of acquiring other products other than through the App Store? The judge seems to be saying, yes, Apple is allowed to say you've got to offer our method there within our store, but also saying, but you've got to allow them to offer other methods as well. And this is a big shift in business models for a lot of developers. And, most of the economy, it feels like these days, is relying at least in part on stores and distribution like this.